Okay, imagine this. You wake up one day and you have all of Spider-Man's powers and his memories. But you're not Peter Parker.
And when I say she has his powers, I mean all of them. We're talking the super strength, that crazy agility, the wall crawling, and of course, that iconic life-saving spider sense that warns her of danger before it even happens. Physically, she's the complete package.
But here's the real mind bender. It's not just the powers. His entire life is rattling around in her head. Every single memory, from the good stuff to the gut-wrenching tragedies. His love for Aunt May, the agony of losing Uncle Ben, it's all there, playing on a loop. A life she feels like she lived, but didn't. And that, right there, is the heart of her entire story. Despite having his powers, despite having his memories, she is a fundamentally different person. A woman trying to figure out who she is when her entire foundation is basically borrowed from someone else.
You don't have to take my word for it. Her own words from the comics just hit you right in the chest. This quote, "This is her entire struggle in a nutshell. It's her painful admission that she's an experiment, yeah, but it's also the first step in her fight to become a real person." Jessica Drew.
So how does a character this complex even get created? Well, her story kicks off in one of the most famous, or maybe infamous, Spider-Man storylines of all time, the Clone Saga. It all started as a top-secret government project. The CIA and FBI somehow got their hands on Peter Parker's DNA. And who do they get to work on it? None other than a captured Dr. Octopus. So they force him to use his genius for their cloning program. And the result is, well, a few clones. But one of them is a stable, successful female version who just wakes up. A fully grown woman with a lifetime of memories that aren't hers. And this is really where her journey kicks off. You know, Peter's identity was forged through real life, real choices. Jessica's? It's a massive question mark from the second she opens her eyes. She might be his genetic twin, but her entire life is a search for who she is beyond that lab. In terms of sheer ability, though, she's a perfect copy. All the classic Spidey powers are there, which makes her a total powerhouse right out of the gate. She didn't need to learn the ropes. Peter's instincts were already baked in. But there is one really important biological difference. See, unlike Peter, who had to invent his web shooters, Jessica can produce organic webbing straight from her fingertips. It's a small genetic quirk, but it's the very first clue that she's not just a copy. She might even be an evolution.
Okay, so you're a superpowered clone, you've got Peter Parker's brain on download, and you just busted out of a secret lab. What do you do next? You might think she'd lay low, but her first real decision is one nobody saw coming. Instead of running away from the world, she runs straight towards it. She decides to join SHIELD, the biggest intelligence agency on the planet. I mean, think about the irony. She aligns herself with the kind of organization that might have created her, all so she can use her powers for good. And immediately, she starts building a new life for herself, piece by piece. Her first mission? Go undercover at the Shady Roxxon Corporation. And she doesn't use the name Jessica Drew or Spider-Woman. She becomes Julia Carpenter. She's proving to herself that she can be whoever she wants to be. Her skills and her drive get her noticed by the big leagues. She's recruited into the Ultimates, which is pretty much this universe's version of the Avengers. Let that sink in for a second. She goes from being a lab experiment on the run to a public hero fighting alongside Captain America and Iron Man. What a jump! But her biggest step forward as a character didn't happen while she was punching supervillains. Nope. It happened when she took on the role of a mentor for the next generation's biggest hero. After the unbelievable tragedy of Peter Parker's death, the man she was cloned from, a new Spider-Man pops up on the scene, a kid named Miles Morales. And for Jessica, who carries all of Peter's memories and his sense of responsibility, this was something she had to investigate. It was personal. So at first, the relationship is a little tense. She confronts him, tests him to see if he's really worthy of that mask. But it quickly becomes something more. She becomes his biggest supporter, even giving him his famous black and red suit, basically giving him her blessing. From there, she leads him on the Young Ultimates, and their bond just gets stronger as they literally fight to save all of reality. And this new role, being a mentor, a leader, it was the final piece of the puzzle she needed to complete her own incredible journey of self-discovery. See, while she was helping Miles figure out how to be Spider-Man, she finally let herself off the hook. She didn't need to be Spider-Woman anymore. She had honored Peter's memory, she'd helped his legacy continue, and now she was free to become someone completely new.
That name, Spider-Woman, had always tied her to her origins, you know? It was a constant reminder that she was made from Peter Parker, not a person who had become who she chose to be.
She was a leader now, a veteran hero. She needed a name that reflected her own story, her own fights, her own future. It was time to make a final, definitive choice.
And so, Jessica Drew finally ditched the Spider name for good. She adopted the codename Black Widow. Now, that name has its own legacy, of course, but it was one she could now claim and redefine for herself. Her transformation from a copy into a true original was finally complete.
Which kind of leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on, right? By overcoming her origins, by mentoring a new hero, and carving out an identity that was 100% her own, did the clone end up creating a legacy that was even more powerful than the originals? It's an amazing story that shows us that where we come from doesn't have to decide where we're going. Sometimes the biggest fight is the one to just find yourself.